Hello everyone, I'm Charissa, back here with Elaine. Okay, so here we are doing the project analysis for River Modern. Okay, but before that, 恭喜发财 everyone.
新年快乐
Yeah, because at this point, we are all rushing, right? Because River Modern is going to be launched on 初四
next week. Yeah, I think
it's 初四 yeah, 初四
So on Saturday, next Saturday will be for the public.
Yeah,
so that's why we're rushing this video out, because we also just gotten the most of the information and also the full floor plans. But today will be a little bit different on how we usually do our project analysis. So, but of course, we will still be sharing with you the project information and also all the floor plans and our recommendation on certain floor plans. But more importantly, we also want to touch on the developer's pricing strategy.
Yeah, because I think River Modern, because of the facing and everything, a lot of buyers want to understand, how will actually be the pricing of the developer, or what kind of strategies will they actually
Because they
adopt?
have got really good facing.
Yes,
very different facing.
Will they all load on one, which is the river facing, or how is it going to be like?
So is it still even worth to consider the river facing units if let's say you are looking into River Modern? But actually, because this is also probably the last plot of GLS land with the Singapore river facing. So it's like, and this is one of the, really the highlight of this development. So we really need to understand how are they going to price it, whether is it worth going for it. If not, then why even consider River Modern if you're not getting the river-facing units, right?
Correct.
So these are things that we'll be sharing with you later on.
And I think one key point is, I think if I'm not wrong, this is also 𝐷𝐿𝐽's last plot. Yeah, so last land that they have, because they actually have been very aggressive. For now, of course. They have been very aggressive in Lentor area, and then now, of course, this as well. Yeah, so this is going to be will they be very aggressive on the pricing, or will actually they will price it very competitively?
Yes, because over there at River Valley area, we also have the last few plots that was just launched. Like we have Promenade Peak, 𝐬𝐿𝐽 and River Green, which is actually just beside it. Okay, so what we're going to touch on will be the recent developers pricing strategy. We're going to use some different developments examples to show you how this thing actually work. And then from there, hopefully we will let you be able to better understand. And once River Modern pricing is out, then of course definitely we'll be able to identify. So why is this important? Because because it's like every developer, or even same developer but in different developments, they will actually price differently. Actually, in all our previous video, we have been talking about all this.
Yes,
just that one is like in specific to just one development. So today we're going to compile everything so that at one glance you'll be able to understand, and then from there to learn and to derive how would the developer be pricing, because you also want to be able to get the best unit in each of the development or whichever development that you're looking at.
Correct. I think because a lot of buyers, they want to also get the most ideal or the most ideal pricing, or even like the lowest or most affordable, or even I think the most good deal, put it this way.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think with this recent like developers pricing strategy, right, we will be able to identify what kind of strategy the developer use or adopt. Then from there we will actually be able to spot spot the good units or the best units. In a way.
That's the most important thing, just to be able to spot the good units. Okay. Then after that, we will be, like we say, we'll be sharing with you on pricing, and then also the pricing strategy, then project info and the layout analysis.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start this part on the recent developers pricing strategy.
Okay, so price loading, there's 3 different types. So price loading on the different unit types. So what do we mean by this? Okay, so if you're watching this video, you have to follow us very closely because it's very technical. Okay, but actually when we see that price loading on different unit types, right, it's something that we have seen in the recent years. Okay, so why am I saying this? It's like if you are someone that has followed the property market for a while, even 5-10 years, we've seen that last time launches, normally the developer will load higher on that means your 2 bedrooms will have a higher PSF compared to the 4 bedrooms.
Right. So bigger unit type, lower per square foot.
Yes.
Small unit type, higher per square foot.
Yes. So I think this was last time the trend, right? But now in the recent years, or even last year,
recent 1-2 years, we've seen some changes in this area here.
Correct. So we have seen that developers have actually load this like 4 bedrooms, right? Like 4 bedroom now is
Yeah.
okay. So like 4 bedroom with a higher PSF, and the smaller bedroom types, which is like probably two bedroom or so with a lower
Or
PSF.
even a 3 bedroom.
Yeah, or even a 3 bedroom. Yeah. So for this, we also want to understand, for River Modern, is developer adopting this? Yes. And then also,
chance, maybe.
Yeah, maybe because most of the units are, especially the big units, we will have a look at the side plan. Yeah, we are river facing. So we want to also understand, is developer adopting this strategy? Okay. So of course, the second one will be price loading on the premium facing, which is actually very similar to this, but this one is more of the room types, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is more of the premium facing that we want to talk about.
Because in some developments, there are very distinguished different kind of facing.
Yep.
Like maybe you get the sea view and then the other side is non-sea view.
Correct.
Or like in this case, you get the river facing, or sometimes you get the park facing or whatsoever. So block versus like probably block. So this is actually on the premium facing. So the third one is actually per floor jump, all right, which is this part here. This is typically the higher rise development.
Yes.
Because that's when you can actually load more on because you have got bigger range of the levels for developer to actually load the pricing on. Okay?
Like probably like one block, then they will have to at least 62 or even like 50 stories or whatsoever, then they will load based on the floor levels.
Correct.
Yes. Because developer have to earn somewhere, ma. If
The
let's say
profit margin, they have to
correct.
average out.
So if for that, if let's say I'm high rise and only one block, then obviously I will go for the
higher
per floor jump.
loading on the higher floors. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the first one that we talk about will be the price loading on unit type. All right, this is actually, we're using the case study of 𝐬𝐿_𝐵. Now, even though 𝐬𝐿_𝐵 is 62-story high, but from what we see on the pricing here, they didn't really use the per floor loading so much. Yeah, so there could be a mixture of the strategy. What we can see clearly is that they actually load on the unit type. Okay, so what we see from here, for example, now we have listed down all the different unit types from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom. And from here, we can see second floor to 62-story floor. One bedroom,
yeah.
Yeah, so for 1 bedroom, it's starting from 2,007-ish. Highest floor is 3,192, closing up near to about 3,002. And then if you look at the 2 and 3, it's also like 2,627. Highest is actually about 3,3. Even for the 3 bedroom, at 2,700-ish, at the highest floor is about 3,3, close to 3,4. But if you look at the 4 and 5 bedroom, right, it's actually a very big difference that, okay, there's two reasons. Number one is that the bigger units, right, of the 4 and 5 bedrooms, they start from level 44. And
for
also,
this size?
For this size, yes,
correct.
correct. And this could be also one of the factor that because of that, they actually they have to start on a higher per square foot. So not just that, because if it's adopting the last time kind of strategy, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that even though on the 44th floor, right, I could be also like similar kind of per square foot.
Or even lower. Because of the quantum,
floor plate
right?
Is big. Floor plate is big.
Correct.
But for 𝐬𝐿_𝐵, I think developer is very confident of the big units. That's why the per square foot, right, is actually on the bigger unit type.
Yes.
Yeah. So like what you can see over here,
actually it clearly tells right, 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom, like you will see an increase in, let's say we just talk about like the 62 floor, all the 62
we look
floors.
at all the 62 floors.
Yeah, so 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.3, and then 3.5.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So we clearly see that all the way it's like an increase.
Generally, if I look at from 1 bedroom all the way to the 5 bedroom, right, definitely the loading is on the bigger unit type, right? So
Yes,
for example, over here,
all the way from 3.1 all the way to 3.5, right? Yes.
Yeah, even let's say for example, I were to look at the site plan. What I did is that I've draw out the transaction done for 4 bedroom and also a 3 bedroom for similar kind of level. So just now we talk about the higher floors, right? So for the 50 over story high, we can clearly see that same kind of level, but same kind of level and same kind of view. Because if you see over here, it's actually both units, both stacks actually facing the same view. So for the same kind of view, right, but the 4 bedroom is actually at 3.4, but then the 3 bedroom is actually at just 3.3-ish. Yeah. So from here, how do we then identify which is so-called the sweet spot, or really the ideal range that if let's say you are looking for something to invest. Yeah, so what we would be thinking is that from here, we should be looking at the smaller unit, like for example, the 2 or 3 bedroom.
Yep.
And the sweet spot is actually the mid to high floor. Okay, so this is actually for the price loading on different unit type.
Yes.
The next strategy will be price loading on
Different facing. Yeah.
So in this strategy, we are using the case study or example of Lentor Modern. So Lentor Modern has got 2 very different views as well. So what we are looking at is over here, facing this part is actually towards the landed facing, which is totally unblocked.
Yep.
Yeah. The other facing will be non-landed, not non-landed. The other facing is actually block facing.
Okay.
It's actually block facing towards Hillock Green, another development.
Yes.
Okay. So now, but this one, interestingly, just now we talk about loading on unit type, right? For this one, for Lentor Modern, developer 𝐸𝐸𝐿 Land also, but they are actually adopting, right, the old kind of
Pricing strategy.
Yes.
Yeah, which is like, that means 1 bedroom is 2.4.
Higher per square foot.
Yeah, then 2.5 for 2 bedroom. And then you, all the way when you see to 4 bedroom, right, it's already 2.245. Yeah,
which is
so
the lower per square foot price. It's really the more of the last time kind of pricing strategy. Okay, so but that means we can see again from here is that they actually load on the premium facing. Because from what we see over here, this is actually 990 square feet, a 3 bedroom, and then this is also a 3 bedroom.
969, okay.
Correct. And from here, if it's the landed facing, it's at 2139 per square foot. But if it's the not the landed facing, right, it's actually only at 2050. So that's for 3 bedroom. For 2 bedroom, same thing. For 2 bedroom, if it's facing towards the landed, right, at 10 over floor, we are looking at 2359.
Yeah.
But if it's the other facing, which is block, it's actually just at 2122. So there's actually about $100 over per square foot, even though if it's the same unit type and same level. Yeah. So that is clearly, we can see that it's actually towards the really loading on the facing. Okay. So if the developer is adopting this kind of strategy,
right?
Like I really want to make a premium or put a premium on the better facing. So if I were to come into this development, what will be the range of the units that I should be looking at in order to get the best value?
Yeah, I think that's the 重点, right?
Yeah.
So because if let's say we have seen some developments, loading like 10-15% on the premium facing, then is it still worthwhile going in or not? Yeah.
So in this scenario, right, we have also identified the ideal range, or so-called what we call the sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
It will be towards the landed facing, but not to get too high a level, because they really will be paying a premium for the high floors. So our recommendation in this kind of pricing strategy is that the low to mid floor, but you get the unblocked view. Now, why is this so? Because for even the block facing, highest floor at 20 over story, right, the per square foot is actually similar to the landed facing mid floor.
Oh, then it explains already, ma.
Yes.
Like we just take the mid to low floor,
Yes, correct.
landed facing.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to buy something that is a block and then 20 over stories, but I have no view.
If you really want the cheapest deal, then you don't mind that there's no view at all. Then of course that's for sure. That one is okay. Yeah, but that is really on buying something which is the low entry price, the lowest entry price. But if you want to identify something which is like really the ideal range, then from here, this is what we have concluded. It's really the landed facing, but you don't get too high floor.
Yes.
Because you want to get price that is not paying the highest for the landed facing.
Yeah, so this is what we say, entering at the sweet spot of how the developer actually price the units.
Yeah. Okay, so this is second part of it. Now the third pricing strategy will be price loading on per floor jump. Okay, so we talk about unit type, we talk about facing, now we talk about per floor jump. So this is actually an example of River Green of 36 story high.
Okay, so if we've seen River Green, second floor 2939 PSF, and then all the way to the 36th floor is 35 already. Yeah, right? And then we see the 872 square feet, 28, and then all the way to 35 again. Yeah.
Okay, so for River Green, it's actually 36 story high. And if you look at the per square foot, first of all, we take a look at the per square foot, right? For 1 bedroom, it's actually at 3.3, but 4 bedroom is at 3.5. So this is actually very similar to what we see at Zion Grand just now. which is also what the developer, or rather the recent developer strategy is more towards this area, like really put on a higher per square foot for
on
the
bigger unit types.
Bigger unit,
bigger unit types.
And for River Green, it's not just that, because we can also see that there's actually a huge per square foot gap from level 2 to 36. Okay, so they have got this 36 level to so-called put the premium on the higher floors. Okay, so if we look at this, right, we derive the 2, 3, and 4 bedroom. From the second floor all the way to 36th floor, we are looking at a 20%, or even for the 4 bedroom, is up to close to 29 to 30% of a difference. That means if I buy second floor and I buy 36th floor, on the 36th floor, I'm paying like 29% more, close to 30%. So in this kind of scenario, of course, it will be very obvious that our recommendation on so-called the sweet spot or the ideal range is more towards the low to mid floor. Unless somebody who really enjoy the view, you want to get to the highest floor, and then you are okay to pay for a premium, that is paying the premium on the views lah. But if let's say based on this strategy, then the ideal sweet spot will be the low to mid floor.
So why actually we say that is because on the next slide we will clearly show.
Yes, correct. Okay, so we also did a comparison. How do I say that actually 22% is like a big gap?
Correct.
So that's why I use River Green and versus Zion Grand. Remember Zion Grand, just now we mentioned that it's actually 62-story high. So, but if I were to look at River Green, second to 36-story, right, I'm looking at a 22% difference. Meaning to say, for this second to 36-story, it's actually about a 0.6% per floor. The difference of the price per floor is 0.6%. Zion Grand actually has the opportunity to load on a per floor because it's definitely much higher.
Correct, because they have 62 stories to play around with.
But remember, Zion Grand, we have concluded that they are loading more on the unit type.
Correct.
So in this case, for the second floor to the 62 floor, right, is only actually 21%, but because it's double the number of floors, right? So per floor is actually just 0.33%.
Yes.
So we can clearly see that for River Green, it's actually double the percentage based on the per floor jump.
So that means if let's say I want to buy a 36 stories at River Green at 3.5, actually I buy 62 stories and it's even cheaper than the River Green.
Correct.
So I think given whichever development, I think this is something that we need to understand first.
Correct.
Like what kind of strategies that the developer actually adopt. Because I would think that anyone would probably prefer this over this anytime. Correct?
Sometimes it's really we cannot buy based on emotions. It's really when the numbers is out for us to see and analyze, then we can clearly identify which are really the value buys.
Yes. So very important when you want to see any developments, or if you are thinking of buying some developments that you are unsure of, you can always contact any one of us. So we will be happy to share our thoughts and views on how the developer actually prices the units or what is actually a good deal for this development. I'm not saying we are 100% right, but based on our analysis, most of the time, we are there lah.
Because we have done enough research to really understand all these numbers. So that's exactly why we are actually sharing on the River Modern potential strategy that the developer is going to adopt. Right? So we have touched on the 3 different ones. Now, first thing first, if we look at the River Green site plan, all right, just now as we mentioned again, is actually most of the units, right, is actually facing towards the
river,
the Kim Seng Park and the Singapore River. And they have mentioned, the project team has mentioned it's close to about 70% of the stacks of the units, right, which is actually facing the river and the park. So in this case, will the developer load on the premium facing? Like everything on the premium facing? Or would they actually, because this is also similar height as River Green, will they also follow River Green to just look on the per floor jump? Or on the unit type?
So I think this one is a bit, I think it's something that you need to understand first also, because 70% river and park facing, that means to say that if let's say the developer load everything on the, if we were to do the premium facing one, that means they load the premium on 70% of the units, are they going to sell?
Yeah, that means 70% of the units are all going to be expensive.
Yeah, correct. Are they going to sell? So I think that is very crucial. So I think what we want to see here is how will actually the developer price the units?
So example, right? Okay, now the indicative is actually out.
2.8 plus,
yeah,
right?
2.8 plus. 3.6 is just a guesstimation from our side.
Yes.
So if let's say we look at this part, right? Okay, just now we mentioned 30%. 30% is not the ideal facing lah.
Yeah.
70% is actually the park and the river facing. Now,
Correct.
if let's say developer is to price like 2.8xx from the not so ideal facing, all right? And just now what Charissa has mentioned, if they were to go by just on the premium facing, which is 70%, does it mean that, like for example, if they want to achieve an average price of 3.4 to 3.5, the highest could be about 3.6-ish, that means 70% of the units is going to be at 3.6-ish.
Yes.
Okay? Is it going to be something that is doable? So in this case, we will feel that actually probably not. So they will not just go purely on the river facing loading. They will definitely, But what is important is be able to identify what is in the middle here.
That means they will have a range lah. Because to be honest, for River Modern, right, this is one of the highest plot that was bidded, 1.4 plus. So if we compare with the rest of, so how do we derive this number? So if you look at the previous launches, right, although they are bidded much
Land
lesser,
price, like,
land price
lower.
is much lower, but they also achieve about like that.
3.5.
3.5.
Correct, 3.5-ish per square foot.
Correct. So that's how we derive from this number. That's number one. Number two is, if let's say we want to identify the 70%, are they all going to price at this? If let's say they really want to have the premium facing loading the most, will anybody still buy? I think that's the key question. So I think like what you mentioned, right? They might have a different here. Yeah, because I think for the Singapore River part, right? This arch over here, you can see the full, that means here, this whole part, right, you can see the full river view, right?
More river, more water.
More river. So that means I think 这边will be the most expensive if I'm not wrong. Likely.
So the thing is that, okay, firstly, the price indicative is actually out. From there, we actually also can already see that they do, from the starting indicative, they already shows that the bigger unit is of a slightly higher per square foot.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. So number one is that first they will actually be also using the unit type loading, which is the bigger unit,
Correct.
higher per square foot.
Yep, I think I have the pricing already.
Because from what we see over here, right? I clear the page first. From what we see over here, the 4-bedroom is 1.464 and 1.830 over here, and both units are actually facing towards the river.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So definitely, first thing first, the loading is actually on the bigger unit type because they really enjoy the best view. That's the first thing. The second thing is that because of the way that this land is positioned, they have got 70% of the river view. So river views, So definitely, they will also adopt the premium facing strategy.
Yes.
So it's going to be like a mixture. But what happened is that because 70%, if 70% of the units are all facing the river and they're going to look on the 70%, is not something that is doable. So what is going to happen is that we should be expecting this range here, the middle range will be our sweet spot. So what is the middle range of this sweet spot? Number one could be the smaller units. Like, because if you look at here, right, we also have got the 2-bedroom, we also have got the 3-bedroom. So remember just now we were saying, right, if it's loading on the unit type, definitely the 2 and 3-bedroom will be also the sweet spots unit.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So we'll be looking at potentially the 2 and the 3-bedroom, and even for here, 2 and the 3-bedroom, right, will be actually the sweet spot because they put lesser per square foot on 2 and 3-bedroom, but you still enjoy the river view.
Yeah.
But there will also be a point, I'm quite sure that there will also be a point that they will probably go on a higher per square foot when it's a high floor because this is like the last plot of land facing the Singapore River. So what is the best sweet spot would be the low to mid floor and probably the smaller unit type, which is a 2 and 3-bedroom.
And why we are saying this is also because like you said, is the last plot, right? And this is the last plot that is facing the river. So that means that if you compare with your, because we want to buy into something that has the most unique selling point. Yeah, so for real modern, obviously it's actually the river. Yeah, so if we are buying something that is blocked, unless it's really, really very ideally priced or is like very attractively priced, if not, we would recommend to go for the low to mid floor river facing. So that means that you, at least when you're selling, because there are a lot of plots in River Valley itself, I want to identify that if I'm selling this in the future, what is my selling point? Yeah. So for river facing is something that I think for real modern is something that we have to deeply consider.
So does it mean that if that's the case, does it mean that the high floor cannot buy? Also not the case, because we have to see what is the kind, whether they actually do look on the higher floors, because this is not confirmed yet.
Yes,
this one is just
correct.
Based on what we see.
Our guesstimation.
Yeah. So the price list is not out yet until the actual launch day. So, but what we're going to do is that what we usually do for our clients is that on the actual launch day, we need to quickly identify, know which are the units that we need to go for and which are the units that we need to take the pricing for to compare. And then from there, we can know that, is it worth going for the middle floor or the higher floors? Okay?
Yes, because in our previous videos, we actually share like how we actually see whether, is it worthwhile going for higher floors compared to, lower floors, etc. So there are a few pricing that we take and then we do a comparison and then we see whether is there a huge loading. So actually in that other videos you can also have a look, or if not you can actually come to us again. Yeah, so actually we have the pricing as of now. At this time of recording, we already see that the 4-bedroom is actually priced at starting from 3.1. Yeah,
so it's definitely on the unit type.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is our contact. Please do scan us, get in touch with us, be it River Modern or any of the developments they're looking at. Like we have mentioned earlier in the video, right? What is important, why do we want to share the different pricing strategy is because we want to be able to read the developer's mind. And from there, then we'll be able to identify which is really the value buys or the good units that we can potentially look at in any of the developments.
Yeah, and most important, please subscribe to our channel and like and share it with your friends. Yeah, it means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, but that's not the end because we're still going to share exactly what is River Modern.
Yeah, we'll go very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so developer again is 𝐸𝐸𝐾 Land. Yeah, so 𝐸𝐸𝐾 Land, 99 years from Feb 2025, 2 stories of 36. 2 towers of 36 stories, okay, 455 number of units, 70% car park lots, okay, yeah. So, but because the location is maybe the land plot like we see here, the land plot is not the most ideal, right, in terms of the shape and everything. But we must say that the location is very ideal.
It's very superb location.
Yeah, correct.
Because I really went to see the SHOWFLAT. It's like you really link yourself to the Great World MRT station and you also link yourself to River Valley Primary School.
Exactly.
So it's like,
right?
Yeah.
And then and the most important is, like we said, last plot that has the Singapore
River facing.
Yes, correct. Okay, so quickly here. So 70%, because I think if you stay there, I don't think most of you will drive. I don't know.
You take a lot of MRT.
Okay, so estimated TOP is 2030.
About 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years. Same as my 𝐸𝐵𝐺 grand. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so 2-bedroom, we have a few, this is the unit mix, 2-bedroom.
So we don't have the 1-bedroom.
Yeah, we don't have 1-bedroom
starts from 2-bed, 1 bath.
2-bed, 1 bath, 2-bed plus. They call it 2-bedroom plus. 3-bedroom and also 3 flex, 3 plus, and 4-bedroom, 4 plus. Okay. So also what's it? Actually, if you look at this, right, we can clearly see that actually they have a lot of units here. So does it mean that there's a lot of units that you cannot buy for a 3-bedroom? I think this one we have to explore. So we also need to know that for a 3-bedroom, if you were to buy in River Modern, based on what it will be our competition, like based on like let's say Zion or whatsoever, what is my edge over the rest of them? Like river facing, etc. And of course the pricing lah. Yeah. Okay.
Now
artist impression.
These are just artist impression. Okay, so the location is over here.
Nearest primary school is River Valley Primary.
Like I mentioned, it's just next door. And then next door is the other side of it is actually the MRT station. Okay?
Yeah, and then Great World is it's going to be your future playground. Yes.
Okay, this is actually the TL line.
I think just to show the connectivity of having the TEL line. Yeah, so I think it's the first, this is what they say here, the the only line added to Orchard in decades. Okay, so I don't exactly know how it means, but of course, Orchard is the heart of Singapore. They want to just show you that TEL is added in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Floor plans analysis. Now we come to the floor plan analysis. We'll start from the 2-bedroom. Okay, so the smallest unit is actually 2 bed, 1 bath. This is actually not facing the river. It's actually towards this direction over here. There's 2 stacks. Size is 538 square feet.
Yep.
So very standard kind of layout. But
Dumbbell lah.
I'm quite impressed that for a 2 bed, 1 bath, 538 square feet, the width of the living is actually at 3 meters. Because typically we are seeing a lot of 2.8, 2.7, 2.9. 3 meters is quite seldom that we see for the smaller units.
Okay, the room also, actually the room for the length of the room is 3.2. Normally it's about 3 ma.
Around there.
Yeah, about 3, right? Yes. Yeah, so this is 3.2, which I think is actually very decent size as well for 538 square feet. Because it's harmonized also.
Yeah,
right?
correct. So 2 bed, 1 bath, nothing much to pick on, and also not so much on which of the stack to go for, because it's both the same facing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
we
they
look
have
at the
proper
price.
dining also.
Yes, a proper dining space over here.
Yeah, for 538, not bad.
So it's really seeing, we identify the units will be on the actual day when we see the price.
Correct.
Okay, so that's for 2 bed, 1 bath.
Okay. So
And indicative out for 2 bed, 1 bath is very attractive quantum. 1.5-ish.
Correct. 1548
Yeah.
PSF. Sorry, 1548 PSF. I hope.
1.548 million. So it's a from price. So it's a super attractive 2-bedroom. Like really getting a 2-bedroom in River Valley area. Okay. Then next we come to the 2 bed, 2 bath. There's actually 3 different sizes. All right. We have got the 646 and then 678 and 689. If I were to zoom into the floor plan, all right, 646 is the one that is not facing, no river facing, all right, and then the 678 and 689 will be towards the river facing.
Yes.
Okay, so 678, so again, as we emphasize, let's say we are really going into real modern, ideally, if let's say budget allows, and if the price is not too much of a premium on the river facing, especially for the low to mid floor, we will recommend the river facing, which is 678 or 689, and then something along not too high floors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, to be honest, if you ask me 646 and then this layout, I don't really like.
Because
this is
there is some wasted space over here.
I mean, personal feel. Yeah, but because whereas for this, right, although it's also dumbbell, but then at least this kitchen is a bit tucked in a way.
It's tucked to a side.
Yeah, tucked to a side. And then it's not the long kitchen like this, where you see the entrance
you
will come in.
Kitchenette lah.
Yeah, so at least in terms of layout wise, I think these two will have an edge, and then also the facing law.
But unless if let's say the 646
investment
has got a very, very super attractive indicative price, depending on what is the premium of 678 and 689 versus 646.
True.
Okay.
So investment, probably somebody can consider, some of them can actually consider this, like you're trying to say. Yeah. I think also had to take note, the 2 bed, 1 bath, highest floor versus, when you are looking at, let's say really looking at the 2 bedroom, 2 bed, 1 bath versus this 646, also have to take note. Yeah, if you can get
so this
646
layout and this layout.
Correct. If you can get 646 at low floor and almost the same price, then really can consider this.
Makes sense. Okay, then next we come to the 3 bedroom.
Okay, 3 bedroom, there's 6 different types of layout. Okay, so let me just zoom in. So we have 797 non-river facing, 829 non-river facing, 893 river facing. Okay, so let me just zoom in. Okay, it's all actually here. So that means these 2 units, non-river facing and also the river facing here. I think this one will be a very nice view because this part is where the L happens, right?
The
arch
of the river.
Yeah, I think the arch happens here. So if of the 3 layouts, if we were to compare, we do a quick glance of the layout. Okay, so so 797, I think the good thing is that this in terms of the it's a traditional kind of layout. Where this one is more of a bit of a dumbbell.
Okay.
Yeah, for 3 bedroom lah. Some people they don't like actually a bit of dumbbell. They prefer this sort of layout. That means everything is tucked to a corner and you have your space. But again, of course, every layout has its good points. These two layouts, the good thing is that you have tucked. This one you have tucked kitchen. This one you have a little bit of tucked. It's like one of the SHOWFLAT we have seen, tucked, L shape plus flexi. So actually, if you want, you can cover everything. This one becomes your store or your flexi room or whatsoever. So this one can be more of a proper 3-bedroom. Yeah, so if you have budget constraints or if you are looking at something too big a quantum, and yet I'm looking at something that has river facing as comparing to my neighbors that don't, then maybe this one is the one.
Just take note that all the layouts, right? The kitchen doesn't have the windows. It is not natural ventilated kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you cover, it will be very hot.
So this is a little bit of the disadvantage, but then again, because of how the size, how the sizes are, right? Potentially it can be a very attractive quantum for a 3-bedroom in River Valley. Okay?
Correct.
So this is something to take note and
This
consider.
is the first 3. Okay, then we move off to C4, C5, and C6, which we have 904 river facing.
904 is quite interesting because it's actually tilted. It's actually the back of it. If you can draw over here. Yeah. This part here.
There's the balcony is here.
Yeah, correct.
So that means your view is like that, a bit sengit one.
Yeah. Correct.
Like
But you still get the river
diagonal
view.
Diagonal view. Because so my buyer was also asking me, how come you say this one is river facing? But because of the but actually this one is also not bad because you get a bit of pool.
Yeah.
And then you get a diagonal river
That's
facing
true.
also.
Yeah. So if I'm the developer, between 904, between this 904 and 893, right? Just now we talk about 893, right? I probably will price 904 to be more attractive because of
a
how
bit
it is
diagonal.
positioned. Yeah, correct. So if you look at the 904 layout, okay, this is actually a very nice layout because once you come in, right, you have a living and dining. And if you notice, right, this living and kitchen is actually the balcony actually stretches to the kitchen area. Yeah. So this is something which is quite different. The only thing is that your master bedroom is not facing towards the river lah. But I think it's still okay because you spend most of the time, you want to enjoy the view most of the time is actually at your living area, living and balcony. Yeah. So this is actually for the 904 square feet layout. Then we have 1098 and 1109, which is one of it is actually the SHOWFLAT layout. This one, they make it quite interesting because what happened is that in the SHOWFLAT, right, they actually have a very spacious kitchen. But in actual fact, this area over here is actually the flexi
room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's either you can actually not have the flexi, but you have a super spacious kitchen, or if you want, then will be just the original layout like that with the flexi, one additional
Actually,
flexi
it's
room.
very rare for a 3-bedroom to have such a huge kitchen. And I think the plus point here is that it's right
living.
frontage.
Yes, correct. Over here for these two layouts.
So if let's say you are buying for own stay and then you want to have an island like me, I love islands. You can have an island in between here
Over
if I don't need the
here.
flexi room.
Yeah, correct. Because
So
you
it's
still
very
have
nice.
3 proper rooms.
Correct.
Okay, so in terms of the layout, we don't see a significant difference. But if you look at the facing 1089 and 1109, okay, it's actually over here.
10 and 1.
Yeah. So again, because of how the river, the arch is over here, right, probably there's a chance that stack 1 will be a slightly higher pricing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means if let's say they say it really depends on how stack 10 and 1 is being priced. If this is a huge premium difference, then probably you might want to consider 10 because
10.
you also still enjoy the river facing.
Yes, correct. Okay, so that's for 3-bedroom. Lastly, we have the 4-bedroom. 4-bedroom is very straightforward. There's only 2 sizes. It's 1464, one layout. The other one is 1830, one layout. And the
Huge
SHOWFLAT
though.
is actually 1830. It's like, wow, super spacious.
Yes.
Yeah. So 1464 would be a very good size for a 4-bedroom.
Ideal size for
correct.
4-bedroom.
Yeah. So 4-bedroom, again, this is actually, because just now earlier on we have also mentioned they load on the unit type. The per square foot is more on the bigger unit, which is actually the 4-bedroom, because also of the facing, stack 7 and stack 3 over here.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely it's river facing. So it's only what is the different kind of premium that you're getting for the lower floor and versus the highest floor.
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at the floor plan, nothing much to pick on, right? It's a very
All the toilets have
conventional
window.
layout.
Yeah.
We have white living. and then comes with a private lift. All right, and then we have got the kitchen. Kitchen again, right, can be quite spacious because of the opening over here.
And then the good thing is that at least it comes with window lah. You know, some units with private lift, right, the kitchen has no window one.
We have got window over here, right?
Yeah,
here and here.
because some is they want you to actually adopt the door, like just open up the door and then but it's can be quite stuffy lah. But I think this is good in terms of the layout. At least they provide a window.
The master bedroom, we have a walk-in wardrobe over here as well.
For 1464, they also provide that. How about the 1830? 1830. Oh, also quite big, as in the walk-in wardrobe. Oh, they come with bathtub.
Yeah, so a bathtub and then a very big area of the walk-in wardrobe because the size is big, it's 1,008 square feet. And then this one, you not only have the width, you also have the depth. Then that's where you have a really long living, and then your dining is very spacious over here.
Correct.
So that's for 1830. 1830, if you multiply by averagely about 3,002, we'll be looking at about close to 6 million. That I can tell you,
5.8.
Yeah,
close to 5.9.
is really whether you enjoy staying in this area and whether you want to have such a big size, or whether you do enjoy the size and affordability and everything else plays into part also lah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but then if it's a 146, I mean, if it's a typical, more of the typical 4-bedroom, there's only one unit and one stack and one size to choose from. Okay, so that's for the 4-bedroom. Okay, so that's the end of the video our content today, our analysis. Okay, just to highlight, for 𝐸𝐭 land, they always have got the loyalty priority.
Oh yeah.
So what do we mean by that? In short, is that if you do own a 𝐸𝐭 development previously, so you actually do have a certain advantage because you will be given priority to purchase. But,
tenants also, right?
Yes, but there's definitely some terms and conditions. So if you want to know whether are you eligible for this loyalty priority purchase, right, do get in touch with us and then we will be able to guide you along.
Yeah, we will share with you a little bit more.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so of course, again, please continue to watch our video and like and subscribe to our channel because it really means a lot to us. And don't forget to click on the bell because upcoming we will be doing binary.
Yep.
Binary should be can lah because it's Chinese New Year.
And this is also a very hype up project because it's like integrated development in the east.
I think it's going to be somewhat like Park Town lah.
Similar.
So I think binary. Then upcoming we also have Thompsonville.
We have Lentor first, and then we have
Lentor
Tengah.
Gardens.
So it's like all over.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's depending on which is the area that you prefer, and then from there we will do our analysis and we'll guide you along.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
So much.
See
Happy
you
New Year.
soon. Happy New Year. Bye bye.
Bye bye.